Since the mid-90s, crime rates have fallen dramatically. Domestic violence, theft, and antisocial behavior have declined too, and yet, people feel less secure than ever. Why? Has crime become more controlled, or just less visible? What is the scope of today's illicit businesses? And how can we design cities that not only fight crime but make communities safer, stronger, and more confident? In this episode of The Keys of Chaos, we will explore the world of modern crime with facts, data, present dilemmas, and the most promising solutions. Across the centuries, crime hasn't vanished, it's evolved. In the Middle Ages, violence ruled the daily life. People settled disputes with swords, pistols, and poisons. After the Industrial Revolution, violence fell and theft took over. Pickpockets, burglary, and scams, the classic crimes of poverty and inequality. After the Second World War, new players entered the scene. Organized gangs, drugs, and car thefts drove violence up, peaking around the mid-90s. Then, around the new century, crime changed code. Traditional crime collapsed, but the underworld didn't disappear, it simply went online. Today, the biggest threats aren't in the streets. They are invisible, encrypted, and global. Crime has always reflected inequality. In the 19th century, city slums bred pickpockets, while burglars target wealthy districts. In the 80s and the 90s, heavy drugs thrive in disinvested neighborhoods where police rarely intervene. Even today, poor areas suffer 2 to 5 times more crime than wealthier ones. Technology changes, but the geography of crime barely does. The global criminal economy is vast, from small but brutal trades to trillion-dollar systems. At the bottom sits the smallest but the most violent markets, arms and organ trafficking. In the middle, migrant, tobacco and alcohol smuggling, worth tens of billions each. At the top, forced labor and environmental crimes, larger than GDP of many nations. Drug trafficking and counterfeit goods still dominate the traditional underworld, each worth around $500 billion. But the new empire is digital. Cybercrime now generates over $1 trillion in direct criminal revenue and up to 10 trillion in global damage. Cyber attacks on major economies are no longer IT problems, they are regional economic shocks. In 2025, Marks & Spencer lost around 300 million after a major hack halted online operations. The same year, Jaguar Land Rover faced a 1.9 billion disruption across the UK plants, freezing hiring and threatening thousands of jobs. This incident caused a 0.5 dent in UK's GDP. In less diverse regional economies, one cyber attack can ripple outwards. Suppliers stall, local services lose business, and recruitment freezes. Cybercrime is no longer a nuisance. It's a strategic threat to jobs, prosperity, and urban resilience.
And holding everything together is money laundering. $2 to $4 trillion quietly circulating through the global finance each year.
Sidebar story. Money laundering, it isn't a standalone crime, but it's the banking system for criminals, the process that turns dirty money into clean assets. According to UNODC, money laundering is estimated to be around 2 to 5% of the global GDP.
Money laundering
isn't a mystery, it's a toolkit. Criminals use cash businesses, trade tricks, shell companies, real estates, casinos, and even informal transfer systems to make dirty cash look clean. In the last decade, a new tool joined the kit: cryptocurrencies, especially stablecoins, mixers, and weakly regulated exchanges, which makes the cross-border flows faster and harder to trace. The statistical correlation of the growth of crypto market and money laundering, it is stunning. The result, large sums move quietly through the legal economy before anyone notices. Back again to the main story. While media cycles obsess over migration and drugs, the two most profitable and least punished crimes, the cybercrime and money laundering, stay hidden in plain sight. Cybercrime targets the most vulnerable, the elderly and the poor, who often lose their savings in seconds. Money laundering, meanwhile, acts like a urban cancer, inflating real estate prices, creating ghost neighborhoods of empty luxury towers, and pushing residents out. The United Nations UNODC has linked laundering directly to global housing affordability crisis,
driving inequality and hollowing out communities.
In 2024 alone, the FBI logged over 850,000 cybercrime
Complaints
and 16 billion in losses. Yet, few victims get justice. Impunity fuels today's digital and financial crime. Less than 1% of the criminal profits
are either seized,
and most victims never recover their losses. Europol warns that criminals now hide behind crypto mixers and offshore networks, making prosecutions rare. The result? Dirty money flows almost freely, inflating property prices, eroding public trust. Cities have always reflected our greatest ambition and our worst inequalities. Poorly designed solutions often make things worse. Demolishing neighborhoods and selling the land to developers might look like renewal on a spreadsheet, but it usually just displaces people and deepens inequality. In London Docklands, redevelopment led to a luxury housing and financial centres, but displaced working-class communities. After years of soulless development, the area still struggles to gain identity. In the preparations for the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, favela evictions under the guise of urban renewal left thousands homeless and worsened inequality. Real poverty eradication requires more than housing. It needs jobs, infrastructure, and the community power. Cities like Portland in US and Barcelona in Spain use rent control, tenant protections, and social housing quotas to prevent gentrification for pushing people out. Also, investing in mass transit in Medellin, Colombia, connects slums to job centers, reducing isolation. Fighting the new invisible economy means following the money. It is not easy, and the current tools aren't perfect, but cities can act. Some of the few most credible solutions are protecting housing market with ownership transparency, vacancy taxes and due diligence, reinforce cities digitally with local cyber response teams. Some even speak about hotlines for victims and literacy programs for older residents. And definitely regulate gambling with a stronger AML controls and public-private data sharing. Barcelona has frozen new gambling license to curb addiction near schools. London's police are expanding fraud intelligence and victim support. And last, Macau has built one of the world's strictest anti-money laundering systems for casinos. These are small steps, not silver bullets, but they show that progress is possible. In the end, crime has evolved with us, from the streets to the screens, from violence to finance. Yet, public debate is still stuck in old stories. Migration and drugs dominate the headlines, while the real engines of modern crime, money laundering and cybercrime, sleep quietly beneath them. Cities that invest in transparency, education, and community strength can start to turn the tide. These aren't magic fixes, but they point the way for fair housing, digital literacy, and honest governance. What is missing isn't technology, it's will. The courage to face new crimes with new ideas and to talk about them openly. As citizens, we can always help too, especially when we vote. Ask who is serious about fair housing, digital safety, and transparent government, not just who shouts the loudest about fear. Because when cities are fair, connected, and confident, crime loses its best hidden place. And what do you think is the most important step your city could take? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to keep decoding the forces of shaping our urban world, please click like and subscribe to The Keys of Chaos.